do your marketing. You don't want to get on social media just to be on social media. And there are times you need to get off social media, because most people don't understand that social media is very addictive, and it has what they call dopamine, and you get addicted to it. And you get to a point where you have to know what's going on social media. Well, what I do is I spend maybe 20 minutes a day on social media to get my posts out, to make sure my virtual assistants have their stuff they got to do. But I don't stay on social media. I did when I was building my following. I would spend from 12 to 2 in the morning when everybody in my family was asleep. I'd take midnight to 2 a.m. looking for the people I wanted to build into my community. And now I have a pretty spend that kind of time on it. So in the beginning stages, you're building, but you want to stay focused. I'm only going to spend 20 minutes on social media. When I go to social media, these are the posts I want to put out. I want to put 3 posts about myself and my, the everyday stuff, and I need to put 2 about business. I'm going to use videos. I'm going to put videos out there. I'm going to put blog posts out there, because again, you're building a name for yourself. You are your brand. Your broker is not your brand. Century 21 came to me because Wendy Williams, my last name is Williams. And so I was Williams, and they came to me and said, we see you, and you're having success, and we want to offer you this. And at the time you had to pay $25,000 to get a Century 21, but I didn't have to pay that $25,000. I did have to pay the monthly marketing fees and the percentages from my listings and my closed deal. So that's going to happen, but you need money-making activities. Jared Bird, I met him from 5 Links. Him and I did a lot of presentations together. He was pretty popping in 5 Links as well. And so he'll tell you, and Michael will tell you, that what I'm saying is really what did happen. You got to find the money-making activities in whatever you're doing. So you want to, again, in real estate, the money-making activities is the next deal. Because once you price it properly, once the contract is the right price, or the listing is properly priced, and the terms with the listing. I see a lot of listings where they say, you know what, go by, drive by. It's like, I feel like I'm doing a drug deal. Go by, don't let nobody see you. Make sure you park the car around the corner, up the block, back up, peep at it, show your buyers, and keep running. Like, come on, give people some good terms. When can the house be seen? What kind of offers do you think it's going to take? And then when you're looking at the listings that you want to show, look and see, what is the buyer's agent getting? And when you list a property, don't be always looking for, I want to take the listing with the cheapest fee just so I can get a listing, because you're building your reputation. Believe it or not, my listings, I still get 6 to 8%. I'm not looking for listings where they tell me that if I take it, they doing me a favor by giving me 3%. And no, that's not what I'm in business for. And I'm going to educate you. I'm going to market your property. I'm going to make sure I sell it. I'm going to get you the highest offer possible. So be willing to pay me my fee. I've never seen somebody having a heart attack and they say, doctor, don't help me unless we can negotiate what it is you want me to pay you. No, they're like, fix me. And most people selling their homes nowadays have a reason they're selling. And you want to make sure that you are confident. So that's the other thing you want to work on and have on your schedule is self-improvement time. What book are you reading? What videos are you looking at? What time are you exercising? What affirmations are you saying? So my morning schedule is I wake up very early. I'm usually up between business telling. Yes, you don't want to to list for cheap amounts, because that's affecting how, like, the industry. People are not understanding how they're, like, I was talking to an agent today, and they told me that somebody is actually offering to pay them to join their office, and they're giving them a nice check. So what they're getting the nice check for is to the you know, companies, multi-level marketing companies, they're paying their way in. And so you're not really growing a business like that. You're not really working on your own morals and building something that's worth keeping. So you want to make sure that you are working on getting your highest commission, and don't be afraid to ask for it. And I have plenty of scripts for people that say, but somebody else is willing to do it for less. You know, okay, no problem. When I get to the house, we can discuss that. But when you get to the house and you show them everything you're going to do for them, and everything that makes you different, and what makes you different, and your professionalism, and you educate them, and they have access to you in certain ways, and you tell them about your team. If you're with a franchise, share the franchise information. If you're with a broker that's experienced, share the broker's information. But you've got to have a package ready that says who you are, and that takes time on your schedule. And as you build your brand, and you can have testimonials of people you have helped, this is why it's really good as a real estate agent, once you list a property, is to market around that property. Because if you go and you really farm that area, and you send out just listed, then you send an open house, then you send, now your name's getting familiar. Usually when you get a house that's for sale, there's going to be at least 2 to 5 others in that same neighborhood that are looking to sell. And if you're there promoting, you're definitely going to make them feel familiar with you. And that's what an agent, you want to spend your time doing, getting the sellers to know you exist. Getting the sellers to know you exist. So you invest a lot of your time focusing on getting a listing. Like I said, cold calling, whatever farm marketing you're doing. One of the things I don't like about some company or franchise marketing is they really focus on promoting the office and not the agent. And so you want to brand yourself. I tell everybody that I'm coaching and mentoring. You want to make sure you have your own website. You want to make sure you have your own business Facebook page. It could be your name, but you just put business Facebook page. If you are an investor, you want to have a marketing and promoting you. You are a brand. You are Coca-Cola. You are your own Century 21, your own Keller Williams. You are the brand. So promote yourself, because a lot of agents end up going from office to office. I personally have been in 3 offices. I started off at ERA, and then I opened up my own office, which was an independent office, and then I became Century 21, and then I went back to an independent office. But you want to make sure that you're not hopping all over the place. You're running one minute you're at Keller Williams, then you're at Century 21, then you're at, you know, Remax, then you're not stable. It's hard to get a following that way. In your first few months to stay stable, you want to stay like really somebody that people can find. You want to keep your phone number, call you. So you want to make sure you keep business cards and a phone number. So on your schedule, as I said, you need to have time for contract signings. You want to put time when you're on a listing presentation. You want to put time where you're taking buyers out. If you don't have buyers, at least go to an open house in your neighborhood so the agents in the area can get to know you. on your schedule, you want to put stuff for time for yourself to exercise. Exercise is very, very important. It helps you to, build your body, your mindset to stay in a positive space. And it gives you the energy you need to deal with people and not take stuff out on them. When you don't exercise, your body doesn't move the same. Your energy's kind of groggy. So whatever exercise, starts somewhere, because the more you strengthen your muscles, then you'll be able to do more stuff. And you don't have to be in the gym 2 hours. You can do 30 minutes a day on your schedule. When you're exercising, you can also be listening to positive music or listening to a trainer. Say some affirmations at least 10 minutes a day. I'm a successful real estate agent. I'm the top producer in my office. I'm the top producer in my state. I am, I attract motivated sellers. I know how to educate my sellers because I'm educated. I have the perfect coach. I follow a great program. I am coachable. Like, all of these things are going to help you. I close X deals a month. Just came back from my second. Way to go. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are doing all the stuff that you need to do. And when you're at the gym, you should be marketing. When you go to the supermarket, you're looking for prospects. So you never want to be out in public looking all frumpy, feeling mean and ugly, because you never know who you're going to be next to, and they're going to end up doing a deal. And one of the things I tell the people I coach and mentor is, stop eating at McDonald's. Stop going through the drive-thru. You're not going to get any deals out of that. Go sit at a restaurant. One of the things that I've learned from my son Anthony is to sit at the bar, because the waitress is going to talk to you. And when you sit at the bar, people are going to chit-chat with you. People are overhearing your conversations, and they will come up to you and say, hey, I overheard you talking about real estate and blah, blah, blah. When you're at a restaurant, sit on, oh my God, that's so funny, Sal. Yeah, so, you always want to remember that you, the agent, are your best marketing piece. You, the real estate investor, are your best marketing piece. And if people look at you and you look frumpy, you didn't feel like combing your hair that day, you don't feel like shaving your beard, and you're putting way too much cologne on, or you don't have any cologne on, it's going to make an impression on people. And make sure you have your business card in your cell phone, because that is one of the greatest things that I love to do. I have tons of business cards, and sometimes I'll tell people, you know what, I don't have any card on me. Like, if I didn't take I have a small business card holder. Sometimes I don't carry it in places with me, because I will say to a person, here, let me send you my card. What's your phone number? And now I can text them my card, and I now have their phone number, and I do it while they're standing there. So now I have their real phone number because I did it. You don't want to, always collect business cards. You can go home and that person no longer remembers you, but when you're there and you send it right then and there. If I'm talking to other agents, I usually send them my business card with my face on it, and I look for the agents that are working with me in a professional, warm way. And if they're nasty, there's multiple listings out there. I don't have to work with you. So these are the things you're looking to do. Have this on your schedule. Your 30-second commercial. How many people have you said, hi, my name is Wendy Lovejoy. I am a real estate broker. I help real estate agents learn the business of real estate, and I help support my agents when they come into my office. I do extensive training. I train them as they need to. Are you thinking of becoming an agent? If I were talking to somebody and I wanted them to list their home, hi, my name is Wendy Lovejoy. I'm with Rate Properties, which stands for Real Estate is Power Properties LLC. and we have helped a lot of people in your area sell their homes. As a matter of fact, we just closed on 123 Main Street. Do you know anybody who's thinking of selling? I've been a broker in the area now for over 15 years. Do you know anybody who's thinking of buying or selling? Have these conversations ready to spit them out anytime you meet somebody. We call it an elevator speech, or your 30-second commercial. These are things you want to spend time on your schedule putting together. Put this on your schedule. You want to put family time on your schedule, because you don't want to become so successful and then you're successful all by yourself and your family's gone because you claimed you were doing all this real estate stuff, but really you weren't doing anything but wasting time, but you were never home. And so you want to make sure you do that. You want to make sure that you are putting a 1-minute video, at least 1-minute video on your Instagram, on your Facebook page, on your LinkedIn. Like you know, you can use the same video all over the place, but start uploading videos of some of the properties you have access to. You want to, again, work on your self-improvement. You also want on your schedule time for lead follow-up. When are you going to do your lead follow-up? Don't be the kind of agent that anytime your phone rings, you just pick it up and talk to everybody, because that'll take you off track. I don't answer my phone. I don't answer to people that I know are not really focused on getting their business done, because some people, they want you to pick up the phone so they can just whine and complain all day. Now, it's okay if you are a coach and a mentor to hear people, but you also want to make sure that the people that you're giving your ear to are people that are giving you their ear. So when you give them information and say, you need to work this week on expired listings. How are we going to get you to focus more on expired listings? And here's your game plan for your expired listings. They're not coming back to you saying, I couldn't do it because I had to feed my child. I couldn't do it because my husband, you know, wanted me to make him some tea. I couldn't do it because I had to take my mother to Walmart. These are things that you have to make time on your schedule, that you do these things, but they should not take away from your schedule. As I shared before, the only way I was able to change my mother's life is I said to her, Ma, give me 1 year. Give me 1 year to really focus. I've never done real estate before. I come from a family that owned their property in South Africa free and clear. My stepfather owned real estate in Bakersfield, California. So nobody I knew was a real estate agent. So I needed to learn everything I could. So I said, give me 1 year so I can get this stuff, and I promise you I'll change your life and I'll change mine. And she did. And I told my kids the same thing. Don't ask me to take you out. And they were in Pampers. That Anthony you love so much, Saul, he was in Pampers. And I basically said, listen, or to all 3 of my kids, give me 1 year. I'm not going to take you out to eat. Whatever clothes you have now, that's what you're going to be wearing until next summer. But if you give me 1 year, I promise you, I'm only going to take off time on Sunday so we can go to church together. But other than that, mommy's got to work. And a year later, they've never looked back. So you've got to make that kind of sacrifice, but you got to have a conversation with your family members and say, listen, this is the goal. And if you help me with this goal, we're gonna help. This is how it's going to benefit you. But you got to help me meet this goal. If we want to change our life forever, we have to change what we're doing every 24 hours. We can't do what we used to do. Mommy can't do that with you now. And so they were willing to help me. I offered them donuts or ice cream, or, you know, we do a movie together and get some popcorn, like little rewards. And then they became bigger rewards. And I even had them, when they started school, go to school and make sure they mentioned my real estate. I'd have them, you see me sometimes wearing, we hustle bricks and keys. Anthony came up with that. So I wear that a lot, because When I first opened my office in the Queens area, I had jackets with my logo. I had, name tags with my logo. You've got to do the things that are going to make you professional. And there's a company called Vista Print where you can get a lot of this stuff very inexpensive and then build up to something more expensive. But you've got to market yourself. So you've got to put that on your schedule. On your schedule, you need to be driving for dollars. You can do that by getting in your car and driving. If you don't have a car, walk around a neighborhood, take an Uber, let them drop you off in a neighborhood, walk around that neighborhood, take a bus if you have to. But you've got to be aggressive about finding your next good deal, finding your next listing. Again, like I said before, if you've had a real estate license and you've had a real estate license more than 30 days, but you haven't gotten your first listing, then you are not focusing on your money-making activities. I used to hire a lot of agents that started off with me part-time because they had a full-time job. So I would tell them, tell me how many hours a week you can put in after your full-time job. And some would say 20 hours. Some would say I can only do 4. If you can only do 4 hours, you need to use most of that time to get you in front of a listing. If you're an investor and you only have 4 hours, you need to find a really good deal with good, a good marketing price and good availability to get in, and make sure you have a list of really ready cash buyers. So as a listing agent, you want to find the agents that you want to give first preference to your listings because you know they're going to handle it ethically. You don't want to build relationships with agents that are going to try to take your listing and all the other negative. Focus on the people that are top producers that are working their business and want to build relationships with other agents. If you have 20 hours a week, you definitely need to be using a lot of those hours to find the deal. What activities can you do to find the deal? As I said, for me, I love letters. I still do umpteen yellow letters. I still do very little postcards. I do the expired listings. I do foreclosures. I do pre-foreclosures, probate, all the stuff that is money-making activities. I talk to lenders. I talk to banks. My goal is sometimes they don't want to list, but they give you access to a pocket listing that you can show and treat like it's your own and get it sold. So it's better to get the sale than to just get a deal and have it sit there. You got to constantly work on how you're thinking. You got to watch videos with the trainings that you need. 80% of your income is going to come from 20% of your focused activity. 80-20 rule, 80% of your income. So some people, you're not making any money because you're not doing the money-making activities. You're waiting for somebody else to do them for you, or you're hoping it's just going to work out. Top producers take control of managing their time. And you've got to learn to remove all the distractions. That's so important. That's why I had the conversation with my mom and my children. I knew that if they had an emergency or they thought they had an emergency, I would stop. So I had to have the conversation of, listen, I need 1 year. You know, you can tell your family, give me 6 months to get this real estate thing off the ground. And I need your support. How are you going to support me? Who can you speak to right now that can, might be thinking of buying or selling a home? If you're on social media, can you promote and just put a post out like, if you're into real estate and put my information on there, can you big me up on social media? So you need to make sure you're doing this, but you want to remove the distractions. Whatever the distractions are, if it's Your children, can you get somebody to help you with them at a specific time on a daily basis so that you can focus on them? If you have a medical issue, because I work with people in all walks of life, if you have a medical issue, pay attention to when your body's the most active and make sure you do your most energetic work at that time. But you never want a whole day to go by and you've not done anything money making in your real estate or none of the money generating activities, because then you'll get no checks. You want to, if you're married, ask your spouse, how can you help me and support this dream? And how can you help me have the time to do what I need to do so we could be successful? You've got to constantly remove the distractions. Don't put a band-aid on them. Don't ignore them and think they'll go away, because they won't. You've got to remove the distractions. Don't spend all your time watching TV. Your body needs sleep. Go to sleep when you're supposed to, but don't be wasting your time when you're up. Make sure you're putting in 1 to 4 hours in your own business. You have 24 hours. It's bad enough you've got to give 8 to 10 hours to somebody else's dream when you have a job, but commit that you will take 2 to 4 hours a day and build your own business. Build your own business. Build your own business. Real estate is your business. So look and see, what are your distractions? Is it the television? Is it your phone? Is it a family member? Is it your full-time job? What are your distractions? And then what time can you truly carve out for your real estate? If you're not really making a priority of your real estate and you're doing it part-time, but you're doing it half-ass. You're doing it like, not even, I don't even call it like a hobby, because people that do a hobby, people that play golf, they play golf all the time. President Trump, they said even after he lost the election, he was out golfing because he was saying, I'm going to fix this. They're going to figure out that I really did win. So he went golfing. When you have a hobby, you invest time in that hobby. So your real estate should be the most important thing to you. That's going to get the why that you said is important to you to become a reality. And so you really want to make sure it is in your schedule. And start with the hardest stuff first. One of the things I've learned over the years is if I have a client or a seller that has the most drama, I deal with them first, get them out of the way, because now it frees up your mindset for the rest of the work you have to do, and it changes your energy throughout the day because you've dealt with it. And usually once you deal with it, it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be. Like maybe the seller saying, no, I'm not reducing my price, and if they reduce, then you've got a deal done. So now it's on your head, oh my God, I don't want to call Mrs. Smith because I know she's going to be nasty. No, get it over with. It's going to build your muscle. And so remove the distractions. Remove them. Don't put a Band-Aid on them. And then most people, you're working from home. Have a work office. It could be, when I first started, I just basically, my story. I started in the back room of my mother's house with 3 babies, a bunk bed, and the bunk bed had to have drawers in it because there was no room for dressers and all of that. And then I had a closet. Stop looking at what you're lacking and look at where you can start from and how you can work. So I put my 2 sons on the top, and me and my daughter, because she was the baby, slept on the bottom. And I would have like a little chair, and that was my office to start with. Now you're in my office now, and you can see some stuff that I've gotten over the years in my real estate dream board that I have behind me. But you grow as you grow. Start somewhere with Start with an area. You can have some pens and some marketing material. Get up in the morning, you're working from home, and put on, get fresh and mindset ready and do your business. Get on your computer and find a deal. Find a deal. Work your list. If you don't have a marketing list, it's going to be hard to find a deal. So look and see if you're on MLS, find the expireds and work those expireds. If they're in a zip code you like, don't be afraid to go knock on their door. The more aggressive you are about finding your next good listing and finding your next your next wholesale deal, the better chances you're going to cash a check before Christmas. So you need to do that now. And this is going into Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. This is when a lot of agents seem to slack up. A lot of investors seem to fall back. But the top producers, they understand this is the best time to catch people at home. This is the time people are having that fuzzy feeling. And the most amazing thing is happening. The energy in the United States is so different now. I went to a store today, to the supermarket, and people's energy's back to what it used to be. So don't give yourself excuses. Be a top producer. Practice talking to people, starting conversations. If you can invest in a name tag, or a t-shirt that starts conversations. When I wear the real estate, my son came up with "Let's make real estate great again." I wear that cap and it looks just like Donald Trump's cap. So most people start a conversation when they see that, because they're thinking, oh, you support Trump. And then I say, look at the cap. And it's so funny, he went to an event and D.L. Hughley was there, and D.L. saw him in the audience with this cap, and he was like, yo, a black man with that. And he said, look at the cap. And then D.L. and him ended up in a conversation. So wear stuff that's going to be conversation starters. And this way you're not always having to start the conversation. You are a brand. Market yourself accordingly and focus putting the money-making activities on your schedule. Now, for those that are in the RIA meetup, you can always text me. I'm here to help you. But if you really want to take a deeper dive and you want somebody to hold your hand, I really encourage you to get involved in one of the mentoring programs. On the Yellow Letter Mentoring, if you're in this group, the RIA meetup, we give a discount to you guys, but everybody else is paying well over $1,000 for the Yellow Letter Mentoring, and they're getting involved. But for this group, we have more than 50% discount for you guys, because we want you to get the mentoring, but you gotta be coachable. You really have to be coachable. You gotta be willing to do the work, because I'm not the kind of coach that likes to spend a lot of time listening to the drama, especially if I'm hearing the same thing over and over. When you come to me with a situation, I'm going to give you a game plan. And, I need you to say, I really can't walk out that game plan. I don't know how I'm going to walk out that game plan. But don't leave the game plan conversation saying you're going to do A, B, C, and D. And then when it's time for follow-up or the next one-on-one call, you're giving me all the reasons why you didn't do it. And I thank God most of the people that connect with me for coaching, I'd say 1 out of every 300 gives me that negative energy. Most people do the work and they like doing the work, because we really sit you down and say, this is where you are, this is where you say you want to go. These are all the things. And if you talk to anybody that tells you they're in my program, they usually say, whoa, you gave me so much stuff. I wasn't even thinking I could do all of that stuff. Or I like so many things you said to me. But you gotta be willing to invest in your business. So again, if you're on the meetup, which you are if you're watching this, you can text me, you can ask me questions, and I'll help you to stay on board. If you are in the New York area and you're looking And if you're in the New York area and you're looking to interview to work in a real estate office, we have agents as far as Atlanta that are based, that work out of our office in New York. We have agents in New Jersey that work out of our office in New York. But I am only willing to work with people that want to learn the business and want to become top producers. I'm not interested in holding somebody's license just to say I've got 20 million people in my office and they're not producing anything. I want to be able to work one-on-one with people and help them to grow in the industry. So if you're a real estate agent and you're at a good office, I'm still willing to work with you, but you got to be willing to do the work. I'm not saying I will only work with you if you join my office. No, I have agents from other real estate offices that take my coaching, and I like the ones that are doing the work. And so again, make sure you do that. And then take time when you get off this call, put the things in your planner. You should already be investing in your 2021 planner because they usually give you 3 months before 2021, and then they give you the calendar for 2021 and maybe a month or two for 2022. So you get yourself a nice calendar, put the stuff you have to do on there. Put the stuff you have to do. Put the things that are your money-making activities. Don't prioritize fun time. Prioritize your money-generating activities. The things that'll put money in your pocket, the things that will grow your business and change you, and put that on your schedule. And as you go through the week, you will need to add more things. If you know our training dates, put those on your schedule. Just about every day between 7 and 9, I'm on one coaching platform or another. I'm speaking at so many different women's events, men's events, speaker events, blah, blah, blah events, because I'm promoting my brand and trying to see who wants to be in real estate to join the RIA meetup. And so you want to be doing the same. Put the stuff that you already need to have on your schedule. If you have a day job, put that on your schedule and then fill in the money-making activities. What are the main things? If you don't have a lot of time, really work expireds and for sale by owners as a listing agent, and work with qualifying your buyers. Work on building your team. Because again, once you get a deal, once you get a listing, other agents are going to sell it. Once you get a listing and you sold it yourself, make sure you have a lender that's pre-qualifying your people, because once it goes into contract, the attorney, the title company, and your lender do all the work. You really just are following up. So you cannot say, I'm spending all my time with this buyer or seller. 90% of your activity has to be, what am I doing to get my next listing? What am I doing to get my next qualified buyer in contract? What am I doing to get a really good wholesale deal? What am I doing to get a fix and flip? What am I doing to build my own credit and open up more financial capabilities to myself? That's where you're going to see improvement in your income. And then you want to focus on your scripts. Put time to practice your scripts. Put time on there to be cold calling. Put time on there for the stuff you need to be doing. And thank you for that, Corey. I appreciate it. Really focus on the things that you have to be doing. And as I said before, remove your distractions. If you can't remove your distractions for the whole week, start with 2 days. Get your family to support your dream, because if you drown, they drown with you. So if you make it, you're pulling them up with you. So get them to give you the time you need to run your business. My family was trained from day one. This is what we're going to do. Your children in Pampers can be trained from day one. Most of you know my daughter Shannon. I had the same conversation with her. And you see her blowing up all over social media. She's closing her deals because of that one thing I said to her. She grew up in real estate, but I said, Shannon, You cannot let your babies be the distraction. You've got to carve out the time to focus on the money generating activities. And that's got to be the priority, and then everything comes after. So that's what you got to do to change your life. And then go look at your schedule in 2 weeks and see what you really did. Don't lie to yourself and say, oh, I've been doing all this real estate and I didn't make no money. No, you haven't been doing the real estate. That's why you didn't make the money. But if you put the real estate stuff on there, you'll get the deals. Our next training, and I want to thank Michael Coloni because he's the one who said to me, do a and when he said that, I had planned on doing that because of what other people were sending me. But, you know, he just really propelled me to do this. The next training we're going to be doing is how to budget your money for your business. Budget your money for your business. Whether you have $500 a month for your business, a couple of thousand to start with, whatever it is, we're going to give you a plan. And when you have a closing, some of the places your money should go. Because one of the things I had to learn to do is when I had a closing, not to go buy all the designer stuff, but I took money and put money back in my business. And I did that a few times, and I made sure I paid my mentor and my coaches. And to this day, I spend thousands of dollars a month on mentors and coaches. And some of my mentors and coaches I've had for years, but it helps me to stay on track so that I can help you guys to also stay on track. So that's the next training we're doing. But if you have any questions and any training that you would like to see us do, feel free to text me, and you know, we'll work on that. With that being said, I hope this was helpful to you. And, you know, and I hope you commit to growing your real estate business and your schedule. With that being said, I'm Wendy Lovejoy. Love you guys. Be good to yourself. Bye.